Hi guys! Today's video I'm going to be showing you guys an inside look on the most recent sketchbook that I finished, which is right here. And if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Jessica and I am an artist and illustrator, and I'm here sharing my work with you guys. Now if you're not new here, thank you so much for tuning back in, and let's jump right into the video. So this sketchbook I have done over an 8-month period, and I did this front cover on my own. I drew it with markers to try and personalize it a bit with some balance imagery, which is the yin yang. And let's just begin. So on the first page that I included here, I did a full drawing of a sunflower field, which I got inspiration from a real field, and I always thought they're super cute, so I gave them these little faces and they're dancing and having fun in the sun. I write my name always and some info just in case this book gets lost. I've had a sketchbook get lost once, and the person actually did email me and I got it back, so that was awesome. So I did this in August 2019 and I finished it in March 2020. I did have a big move in between then, and I managed to still finish my sketchbook, which was great. So in this next spread, I did a draw this in your style with one of my friends who drew this picture, which I'll have right here, and I also reincorporated my own way of doing it and also made a YouTube video about it, so you guys can check that out. Here I'm just experimenting with different mediums, different shapes of these frogs. This is acrylic, this is markers, we got some graphite, and a little bit of like watercolor, I believe, in there. So this is the spread. I decided to just incorporate different colors and mediums. Now here we have a big crazy scene of art supplies that I used a rainbow pencil for, which you can't control what color comes out of it. It actually has the whole lead is incorporated with all these different colors, so whenever you draw, all the colors are changing as you're drawing, and I wanted to make my supplies come to life in this little sketchbook scene. So that's that. Here I am drawing little sketches of some characters that were coming to mind at the moment. Here, this character, he wasn't able to come up with anything to draw, and that's how I felt at the moment, so I made him into a little character. Here's a tomato baby, a broccoli baby, and an onion head. These are just some things that I'm doodling that I'm coming up with as I'm drawing in my sketchbook. Here I'm using a brush pen and I'm doing some portraits from life and restaurants, and these are actually from references. And I love brush pens because I can vary the lines and strokes and can get a thicker line and some thicker values versus some thinner marks, which is great for hair. So I love the brush pen. In this spread, I did a very diverse spread of like different colors of different kids. And I wanted to play with pattern and shapes, and definitely my colored pencils, which I really missed using. I was doing lots of paintings and wanted some colored pencils, so I took my sketchbook and created this. Also was playing around with different styles of faces and literally different shapes. I had a circle, then I had this shape for this guy, and I was trying to push myself definitely with using different colors and seeing how they look next to each other. This was a quick contour drawing, a blind contour drawing, which if you guys don't know, you do a drawing without looking at your paper and without taking your pencil off the paper. And I did these refined drawings on top. This was from a Skillshare class, and I'll have everything linked below if you guys want to check it out. These are some baseball players that I took the same concept with, not picking up my pencil off the paper and continuing to draw these action poses. Here I drew random shapes first and then put these people shaped inside of the actual shapes. So this is what I came up with here, and I love the way this one came out. And here I'm just actually cutting out the shapes of these people without drawing it at first. So this was also part of the Skillshare class, and I took it just to get a little bit outside my comfort zone and try something different. And here I drew this dancer, which was also the last project of the class, where we had to choose a person and an object and actually intertwine the shapes of one and the other. So you can either do the human to be large and the object to be small, or the objects to be large and the human to be small. So I actually did a smaller sized person dancing with some flowy hair and her maracas that are huge. So this was a great way to play around with size and composition. And then I took a tracing paper and actually just completed the line work to make it much neater. Here I am practicing a bunch of different ways to do headlines. This was also from a fellow YouTuber. I just watched her video and practiced in my sketchbook. Okay, in this spread, I'm just experimenting with a character that came to my mind. I called him Sam and his sidekick, which reminds me of a turtle dog because he's a turtle and he runs and acts like a dog. So I'm just drawing these little scenes and I put them all into this one paper, but eventually I scanned them and made them drawings on their own, which is on my website. You guys can check it out. Thought he came out really cool. I drew him first with this red pencil to get the preliminary sketches, and then I went on top with graphite. Here I took another Skillshare class to improve some skills and try something different. I drew these random blobs in yellow, and our task was to actually find shapes and characters in those blobs, which was a fun little exercise. So if you guys are stuck in your sketchbook, definitely try this out. And here we had to take a reference, and whatever we took a photo of, we had to turn it into a character. So I picked my money tree plant that I actually own and grow myself, and it's called a money tree, but I made it into a literal meaning of a money tree. So I did the leaves as money. Okay, and I did that in ink. On the next spread, which is probably my favorite spread in this sketchbook, I chose two portraits and I did a little bit of a different composition. I flipped this one upside down, and I'm always constantly trying to find different ways to try something new. So I constrained myself to patterns and limited colors. So I took reds and I used white here to mix, and only blues. So I did red, blue here, and a pattern of black and white with markers. And this was done in acrylic, and this was done with markers like a Sharpie, I believe. So I love this spread. It's actually the homepage of my website, and I thought it was really cool the way it came out. On the next spread, I took a bunch of different references and again played with limited color to try different accent colors. So I used red as the accent color and just black and white ink, which I diluted with a little bit of water to get some grays, and a bright highlighter. I was running out of ink and I needed to use it, so I just quickly finished it up in this page and put some use to it. And yeah, I love the way it came out. It came out pretty cool. Here I was just sitting in the library reading, and I took my sketchbook out because I saw some interesting compositions and people saw them reading, so I decided to practice some drawing from life in the library, and this is what came out of it. I used some pencil and markers. This was done on my walk by my house. This was some sunset scenes. It was beautiful outside, so this was a direct view into the water. These are just some quick 5-10 minute paintings, just getting in a scene, because when sunsets happen, they move very quickly and you need to quickly capture what's in front of you. So this was a great little moment for that, to capture that scene. Oh, and here we are in the Inktober time period. So I know I did a really quick flip through of this on my channel, but I really want to talk to you guys more in depth about what I thought about before I started the actual Inktober of 2019 and share my thought process with you guys. So this was the first prompt, which, if you guys don't know, Jake Parker started this movement. You get one prompt per day and you do an ink drawing every single day of the month of October. So in my Inktober, I wanted to incorporate different borders. I wanted to have intricate details, and I really enjoyed this month's Inktober. I was in the middle of a huge move, but I still managed to actually finish all my drawings. So this prompt was bait, And I did a bunch of hands reaching for the like sign, which I thought was a really cool concept. I tried to push myself with concept and lots of details. So I definitely wanted to improve on my own skills as well. So this one was build, husky. I did like a cool llama with the building on top of him and these little birds building these nests. And here are the next ones, some mushrooms in a forest. Again, some more borders. I really was into borders, and this was actually ballpoint pen, still ink, and this was, I believe, microns and brush pens. And I love the way these two came out. This one is one of my favorites as well. I also have these up on my website. If you guys do want to purchase prints, I'll have them available for you guys. Still, I have some. And I used brush pen for both of these, and I used a little micron for all the little details. Continuing with Inktober, some dragon inspiration, and I used a circle border with some also details here. And I played around a lot with pattern, brush pen work, and different variations of borders. That was kind of what I was thinking about for my whole Inktober. Here I did like a little graphic design aspect. I really miss doing some lettering, so I actually illustrated the word ash. And here I used brown ink to create a nice little scene. I believe the word was growth. And I used little brown pens on top, and I diluted the ink with water to create this watercolor effect. Okay, some more. This was a sculpture painting also with brown ink. And this was blue ink of an action pose. I forgot the word for these, but you guys can check out the full list on Jake Parker's page. This one was ornament, and I used gray ink. Love the way this one came out. And this was a next piece that I did also in Inktober, but I ended up actually not inking it here. I inked it digitally and turned it into a tote, which I have on my website for sale. I'll have everything linked below. You guys can just check it out if you guys want to purchase it. And this was the first stage for it, so you guys saw the sneak peek of how I first drew it out before it became a bag. On this spread, I actually missed a whole week of Inktober due to my move, so I took all of the prompts and added them into one spread and made a little story out of it. So I was like, I'm not giving up, I'm still gonna do it, and this is what came out of it. I actually thought it was pretty cool. And these are my infamous little lines that I love to do in my sketchbooks. They're very therapeutic to me, so that's my thing. I love them. Okay, moving on. Some more Inktober sketches. This was a penguin who's a spy, and yes, penguins can be spies. Some little pops of color with different inks, just little things that I started to add to keep myself a little bit more interested with Inktober's. This was blind, and this was, I believe, ride. And this is what I came up with. I love both of these, and I do have them available as prints. Once again, if you guys would like. And these two are the last two of the Inktobers, I believe. Yep. And I did a blue version of, I believe this was Fly or Flight. And this fruity girl in red ink. I kind of wanted some color by the end of this, so I just used some colored inks for the last two. And moving on to just some actual thoughts that I had, and I illustrated them into words here. This was just stuff that was flowing, and I wasn't doing much thinking or planning, and this was basically just doodling. Oops, skipped a page. So here I'm actually swatching out different acrylics that I got. They're called Nova Color, and I'm doing little banner thumbnails for my YouTube channel that I was thinking of changing. And these are just like little plans that I decided to do for myself in my sketchbook just in case I was going to change. So in my sketchbook, I'm doing a lot of experimentation, a lot of planning, a lot of doodling, and yeah, that's the place for it. So here I have a sculpture of a little Buddha guy that I found at a friend's house, and I took my sketchbook out and quickly put him in here just to capture that moment. And here I'm doing my watercolor version of my plant that grows in my room, and when I show you guys my studio tour, you guys can actually see him, and he's so beautiful. I love him. Alright, this was a portrait I did for Chris Hong's Skillshare class. She's also a fellow YouTuber, so you guys can check her out. Some more planning of little thumbnails. And some more paintings. Here I was actually doing little holiday stickers. I did this drawing for Childhood Week, started by Beatrice Blue. Some more crazy doodles. I don't know what was happening here. I was kind of just... I really don't know, guys. Alright, moving on. These are some thumbnail color compositions that I did for a finished piece. Some planning pages here. My friend's dog, and just using a limited color palette of just blues, and there was a beautiful ray of sunlight on the puppy, so I just decided to capture that quickly. Some more drawings of hands to practice. These are quickly just like little doodles of people in the restaurant. It was a sports night and everybody was set on the TV and watching the game. So I just quickly, while everybody's not paying attention and watching the game, decided to draw them. These are plannings pages for my pelican painting, which I will have for you guys right here. You can actually see my original paintings on my website. And this pelican's out on the pier by where I live now every morning, and I had to take a photo of him and recreate it into a painting. So these are just some composition sketches before I begin the actual painting. Some more preliminary sketches for paintings that were larger paintings. Some more preliminary sketches for other paintings that I was doing, and little doodles of just while I was in the salon of a girl getting her hair done. Just some quick, I carry my sketchbook everywhere, so I'm constantly doodling, and this was also a doodle on a long car ride. I'm constantly drawing and keeping my hand moving. I don't know what was happening here, but I really feel it's necessary to sometimes shut your brain down and just draw whatever comes out, I guess. So that what was happening here. This was a little meditation session I had that I had a great time, and I just wanted to capture this moment right here. And some more thumbnail sketches over here. I also did a quick Uber ride to wherever I was going. Actually, I think I was going to meet up with some friends, and I quickly took my sketchbook out and drew inside the car. Don't do it, guys, you'll get nauseous. But I decided to capture that moment and see what happens. Just a little addition into my sketchbook. So here was a little flight that I did across the coast in Miami in Florida, and this was the plane that I went on to capture this memory. Again, I put it in my sketchbook. Some more doodles and little color pages. This was another brain shutdown. I just kept my hand moving, and this is what came out of it. These sketches were done at a market, which they had a little section for animals, and I actually stood in front of these animals and drew them. This camel stared me down the whole time, and there's a little cute kangaroo sleeping, and yeah, these were from there. Also from the same market, I did this tractor drawing. I love tractors. I have no idea why. I think they're so fun to draw. So I was practicing some vehicles here. And we have reached the last spread, I believe, yep, of my sketchbook. And I wanted to finish off with a strong quote where I can and I will, and I continued to improve on my skills. So I constantly give myself positive quotes and affirmations. So I ended off my sketchbook with this, because once you finish a sketchbook, you feel so happy and accomplished. So that's what I decided to finish my sketchbook with, and I kept a little traffic light of green to keep going and don't stop. So yeah, and that's the completed version. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching. You guys can check out all the links in the description. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Feel free to check out my website, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching once again. Bye!